Did you know that Psalm 73 was written by a worship leader? Do you know who this worship leader was and who appointed him? How could a man who worshiped God daily suddenly begin to stumble in his faith? And how did he rebuild that shaken faith? Stay with this video till the end to find out. Psalm 73 was written by Asaph. But who was Asaph? Asaph was a worship leader in the house of God, personally appointed by King David. His calling and passion were to worship God every day in every season. Being one of the chief worship leaders, Asaph wrote several psalms, deeply meaningful ones, and Psalm 73 was the very first of them. Now, when you read verses 1 and 2, you notice something unusual. He's praising God, yet right away he admits, "My feet had almost slipped. I had nearly lost my foothold." In other words, his faith was shaking. But why? When? As we read further, we see him comparing his life to the wicked. He admits, "When I saw the prosperity of the arrogant, I envied them." He says, "They don't have struggles, their bodies are healthy and strong. They are free from the burdens common to man. Even in death, they have peace." And then in verse 13 he cries, "Surely in vain I have kept my heart pure. Surely in vain I have washed my hands in innocence." Why is he saying this? Because he felt the wicked were living better lives than he was. And isn't that the same problem we all face today? Haven't you ever felt like that, my friends? That people who don't care about God are living easier, better, and richer lives than we are? That your prayers don't seem to work? Your obedience doesn't seem to pay off? That's exactly how Asaph felt. He says, "It was oppressive to me. I couldn't understand why the wicked lived so well." And that's what happens to us too. We look at others and think, "Wow, their life is perfect." Even if they never pray, never worship, never go to church, we still think, "They're happier than me." Meanwhile, we're broke, abandoned, struggling, and stuck in pain. That's what Asaph felt. But everything shifts in verse 17. He found the turning point. He says, "When I entered the sanctuary of God, then I understood their final destiny." In God's presence, he realized, "Surely you place them on slippery ground, you cast them down to ruin." He saw the truth. The wicked may look happy for a moment, but destruction is waiting for them. And in verse 27, he concludes, "Those who are far from you will perish." Friends, are you confused today? Do you have unanswered questions? Asaph gives the solution: go into the house of the Lord. But sadly, what do we do instead? When life gets busy, the first thing we cancel is the house of God. When trials come, the first thing we abandon is church. Some wake up late on Sunday just to avoid going. Some say, "I had laundry today, that's why I didn't come." Some blame sickness, bad mood, rain, heat, or cold. Whatever the reason, the first thing they reject is the presence of God. And yet, these are the same people who once came to God's house in desperation. And there, God delivered them. But when trials come again, instead of running back to his house, they only run to prayer requests. "Pastor, pray for me. I'm sick, I'm broke, I'm lonely." But I ask you, why should someone else pray for you if you yourself refuse to pray? Why should someone else kneel for your deliverance when you won't kneel for God yourself? This is exactly why so many young people today walk away from church. They say, "It's boring, it's a waste of time." But that was the same mindset Judas had. When Mary poured expensive perfume on Jesus' feet, Judas said, "What a waste. That perfume could have been sold and given to the poor." But for Mary, nothing was more valuable than honoring Jesus. Yes, I know, your time is precious, but spending time in God's presence is never a waste. It's the best investment of your time. I also know some of you will still not change after hearing this message. You'll wait until Christmas or Easter before showing up in God's house again. But remember what Asaph said in Psalm 73, verse 27. "Those who are far from you will perish." My dear friends, Maybe today it doesn't make sense, but one day it will. One day when you're on your deathbed, when the very people you trusted turn their backs on you, when your career, your friends, your wealth, all abandon you, then you will run to God's house. But by then, you may have lost the very years, opportunities, and blessings you once rejected. That's why Hebrews 10:25 reminds us, "Do not give up meeting together, as some are in the habit of doing, but encourage one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching." God's house is where His people gather, and it is essential that we be there. Asaph had two main struggles in Psalm 73. His faith was shaken. He envied the life of the wicked. He was on the edge of losing his faith. But before he fell away, he entered the sanctuary of God. And there, he says, "Lord, I understood. I received my answers." My friends, if you have questions, struggles, pain, step into God's presence. In His house, you will find the answers, the healing, and the hope you're searching for. And maybe this is why David declared in Psalm 27:4, "One thing I ask of the Lord, this is what I seek, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to gaze upon the beauty of the Lord, and to seek Him in His temple." So friends, if this message has spoken to your heart today, subscribe to our channel Hopecast Studio and encourage us so that we can continue serving God and bringing His Word to more lives.